Hi folks. So lots has happened, lots to tell you. Alright, so a couple weeks ago I noticed that Piper's face was strangely different. So I took her to the vet and they said, oh, she has a hanging tooth. And the guy took a pair of those hemostats, the things you suck, we used to smoke weed with when we were kids. And he clipped the little thing off. She didn't even make a sound, like it just popped right out. It was hanging. So he said, that's it. Here's some antibiotics, a couple painkillers, she'll be fine. So I gave her the painkillers and the antibiotics and she wasn't fine. So I called back and said, nope, this isn't working. And he said, okay, well, let me give you more antibiotics. Maybe it's up in her root and you can have her teeth cleaned. And I said, okay. So they made an appointment for last Tuesday, 2 days ago. And so I said, okay. So then he wanted to get blood work and an x-ray prior to her going under for this teeth thing, to have her teeth cleaned and to figure out what was bothering her. And so when I brought her in, he looked at it better than he did the first time. He just saw the tooth and said, oh, that's it. It wasn't. So then he looked at her and said, I don't like the way this looks. And he ran his thumb down both sides of her gum and it broke open and started to bleed right away. So then he took her in the back and he went in the back and he came back out and said, does she still have her baby teeth? And I said, yes. And he said, okay. And he took her in the back and he came back out and he said, I just pulled a baby tooth out of this mass. He's like, but I don't think it's called an indentured tooth. He said, I really think it's cancer. And I was like, cancer? She's 8 years old. Like, she's still young. She's a little dog. Dogs at 8 are still, little dogs at 8 are young. And he's like, yeah, I don't like the way it's going into her gum, and from her gum to her lip. It shouldn't be spreading like that. So I was like, oh. So I said, okay. So that was that. Then he was like, well, on Tuesday we'll get a biopsy, when I was supposed to get her teeth cleaned. So I said, okay. So then he calls me over the weekend and says he couldn't stop thinking about us, which I thought was nice, but he said, how about if we do this? Why don't we get some chest x-rays and stuff? Because if she doesn't have any if she has a mass somewhere in her chest or her back or something, then it's cancer and we can stop. And she doesn't have to go through the biopsy or any of that. So I was like, okay. Or getting put under, that kind of thing. So I brought her in on Monday for the x-rays. And the x-rays came back negative. She didn't have any disease in her body. So now we still needed to do the biopsy because her face is, she has a mass. So the surgeon comes that does normally the teeth thing, and she does the biopsy and she calls me and says, I also did a cranial x-ray and she has, this is 99.9% cancer, and it is throughout her head, because she said it appears that her jaw has kind of been taken over by this, and part of her eye socket, because that's the eye socket where her eye popped out a year ago, which I think might have started all this. But anyway, so she's like, you can wait for the biopsy to come back, but I'm telling you, I really think it's cancer. That was Tuesday. Monday when I was at the office, Tim was in there. He was running around with no mask on. Lots of people were. He has COVID. He was in the hospital yesterday. And I'm on my way to get my test now for COVID. See? Piper, while this is only Thursday and she had this all done Tuesday, she's now having a really hard time breathing at night because whatever it is in this side of her nostril, and she wakes up gasping for air. And I don't even know if we're gonna have enough time to wait for the biopsy to come back if this is progressing so fast. I haven't talked to Tim today to know how he is, and I've been nothing but nauseous for a week. I have no idea why. Like, my stomach's been so bad lately, and I just I'm worried about COVID. I'm worried about my sweet Piper. I don't know. And this isn't Cozy. You know, I was ready for Cozy to go. I was ready for her to go at any minute. And the way I look at Cozy is very much that, I look at Cozy like if she died tomorrow, I gave her the best, longest life anybody could have given her. Because of, you know, obviously she's terminally ill because her windpipe and her, all this is compromised. So, that's where I am right now in life. And I'm very sad about my dog, who I thought I would have another, 8 years with or more. And I don't even know if I have 8 days with her now. I hate cancer so much. I really hate cancer. Like, I'm sure everybody who has kids, I see these little kids with it, and I don't know how the parents live through this devastation. And Carrie, my poor friend Carrie's going through it. Her son was killed on a motorcycle, and hey, my whole team is here to get their testing done. So, I don't know. Anyway, things have been rough lately. And I'm super grateful. My son said, something to me today, and I said, all I can do is tell you how grateful I am for the years that I've had with Piper. She's an excellent dog. She was she's awesome. She's like the best, little doggy. Little 8 pounds of craziness, and well, let me go in here and get my COVID test, and I'll talk to you soon.